guys, welcome to another video with Butter here, and we're doing today a tutorial on how to descale. And if you're wondering the program I'm using GIMP, and that's basically how I'll be doing the things in this video. So yeah, and I encourage you to download this program so that you can use it too. So basically the point of this video is I'm going to teach you guys how to descale. And I just want to say before I get started that I will make a video on how to upscale or rescale in particular if I hit let's say 10 likes. So that's that, but we'll get right into the video now. So the first thing about descaling that you're gonna have to understand is there's a way you can just descale something. So I'm actually gonna start with a block first. So the way you can descale stuff is I'll just do that slower for you guys, sorry. So you're going to go to image, you're going to go to scale image, and then you're going to put in the resolution you want to, you're going to put in the resolution you're going to want to descale to. So if your image size is 64 by 64 like this one, you're going to either put in 32 by 32, and usually you're going to want your interpolation to be none. It really depends on how you want it to look. And as you can see, it descaled. And in some ways it looks good, in some ways it doesn't. So I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to put the interpolation on cubic. Oops, I forgot to change the size. Interpolation on cubic, but I'm going to make it 32 by 32 again. When that chain is linked right there, it just means it's going to make that 32 by 32. So as you can see, it actually descaled pretty well right there. But this is the thing. A lot of descales out there are trash. And this is because basically because that's all they're doing. They're going to descale the texture, and then they don't do anything afterwards with it. It's going to look like this, which is kind of blurry. It's going to look like the other one, which is, it just looks a little bit odd. So like, let's go back to 32 by 32 like that. I mean, this one looks alright, and I think you could actually be able to work with it. But, you know, if you want it to look good, you need to be doing some correction. So as you can see, I'm going right now pixel by pixel, and if you might not notice this before, but when I hit the control key and then click on it, it color picks that texture instead of me actually having to use the color picker. So I'm just using this to spread the texture, not the texture, but the colors out properly. So as you can see, I feel like that's kind of odd there, and it kind of cut off a bit of the highlight that this ore originally had. But actually, so what I'll do is, to do this properly, I'm just going to go like this, and this. So I'm holding shift, by the way, to do that sort of line kind of thing, or where it kind of jumps to that line. And so I kind of cleaned that up, as you can see. Right here, I'm going to say that this needs to go like this, and I mean, I think you get the idea. So this is kind of how you descale, and you can I'll descale this for you guys in 16x in just one moment. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these colors though, just because I feel like they don't fit in properly. So I feel like this is missing some of that, and a bit like that maybe. So as you can see, it's not always perfect, and you're gonna have to make it look the way you want it to, but yeah. Let's see, and I'm getting rid of these because I just feel like this weird part where the color spread isn't looking real great. So as you can see, I kind of cleaned it up, so that's what that is. But I'm gonna undo all of that, which I'm pressing Control D to do that if you're wondering, and I'm actually gonna scale this to 16 by 16. So first we're gonna try with no interpolation. So we're gonna go like that. As you can see, it kind of did the job. I'm going to do that color correction thing again, and see, it's not really color correction, but I'm just placing pixels where I think they should be in order for this to look proper, like in my opinion. So I think I'm going to go like this. Yeah, so that's kind of what this is here. But yeah, so see, I'm gonna get rid of this one right here too. So as you can see, that kind of did some color correction. I'm gonna move this here and this here like that, and then I'm actually going to move this here, and just some of the colors I didn't like how they panned out, so as you can see I'm kind of trying to fix that. But as you can see I kind of have an ore looking thing right here, like that. I might try and fix this by going like that. I don't know. As you can see, it's not perfect like I've said before, but that's kind of, you get the idea, I guess. So you can descale a texture like that. Also, I'm just going to make a note of this. I'm going to scale the image, go to cubic, and then to 16 by 16. And it actually descales a lot better, but I need to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil here. This is just a tip I like to do, or things I like to do. So the diamonds themselves kind of descaled pretty well, but I don't like how all the blue kind of blurred in. So I'm going to take some of the actual gray, and my opacity for this pencil is on 50%, and I'm just going to like take it and try and run it all over that right there. Another way you could do this is actually, I don't know, yeah, I'm going to actually do it this way. And still do it the other way I was going to talk to you guys about. So I have all this right here, but still it's kind of blue and it's just a little odd. So something I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, oops, actually I'm going to take that back to like that and get that. I'm going to grab this right here and move these down just because it seems like a natural shape to it. And I'm also going to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I just hit U to get my magic wand, and I'm going to get rid of anti-aliasing, and I'm going to use composite, and I'm going to take my threshold to something like that. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of selecting everything but the diamonds. So now what I'm going to do is hit desaturate, and that, as you can see, you can do it different ways. It doesn't vary too much. But as you can see, it takes it all back down to gray, so then you get something like that, and that is how you descale an ore. Basically, the gist of descaling anything is you're going to hit image, scale image, and the size you want to do it. So now I'm going to move on to items. I'm going to get rid of that. So we're going to start with the sword. It works the same way with swords, but the thing with cubic is because it's not filling up the entire space. If I was to descale this to 32, it gets blurry, and you really don't like, these are called ghost pixels, and you don't really want them, for the reason that ghost pixels really mess up textures in 1.8 especially. But you know, that's just one thing. So basically, if I was going to descale this to 64 or 32, I'd really want to do it in having the interpolation be none. So as you can see, this kind of looks like a clean texture in 64 too, so we got that. But I'm actually going to descale this to 32, and we're going to go here. And basically, this is, so when you start downscaling HD textures, it's hard to get in all of the details, so it really has to compress it. So if you're wondering what I was doing, is I just have black, and then the opacity is 40, and I'm kind of just making an outline over this stuff that's already here. And I'm going to delete that there. So I kind of like that there. I'm going to go like that. I just kind of clicked on that texture, and I'm dragging the color. Actually, you know what? That should probably be lighter. So I'm gonna like take this color here, overlay it over that. Oops. I'm gonna put there. That's too much. I'm gonna do it like up, like that. So I'm gonna click this and kind of, I'm just putting all those colors over it. I basically kind of just smooth stuff out using opacity. So as you can see, we got like a sword again. And honestly, this might even look good if I was to take this right here and just grab that texture and like made it a little pointy sword like that. That's kind of cool. And you're gonna have to do certain corrections in certain areas, like right here, depending on the texture really. But right here, this handle is kind of offset, but you can't really fix that because the resolution's 32x. So let's see here, because it's 2 pixels when it should really be 3. But I think I'm gonna kind of leave it because it doesn't look too bad like that. Actually, I might just do this. Yeah, I'm going to take my opacity down and kind of make this handle a little bit bigger. Like that. And so you get yourself like a sword. And then it's all evened out like that. And there's your sword. The thing is, that was a descale 32x, but watch if I show you guys how to descale this into 16, you get something really odd. And that's the thing with skinny swords or anything that's detailed and small in that one resolution. When you descale it, I'm just hitting Control Y to redo what I did, if you're wondering. But when you do that, it doesn't really, turn out right. So if you were to do this properly, I'm just gonna say this now, you would have to, let's say I'm gonna create a new one, a new image, 16 by 16. You have to do it very detailed. So let's start with this. Layer, transparency, add alpha channel, delete, and that gets us the transparent background. So the way I would actually do this is, you would have to do a lot of color picking. So you would get out your pencil tool, you would pick this color, and let's say I just make like an outline right now of this sword. Here we go. Right, and then we're gonna get this black here, and it's gonna go like this. It looks like it kind of just goes like that. Basically, oops. It looks like it goes like that kind of. Yeah, it looks like it does that. So, oops, we're gonna go like that, that, and that. This is gonna be a big handle, so I'll make it smaller. Just I have to see how it sort of pans out first. And then it comes back down like this. Yeah, like like this, and you get your handle down here, and there's a little bit of bulge at the bottom, but you can't really include that in 16x, so I won't be doing that. So basically I'm just kind of fixing this thing so it looks like that. That's all I'm really doing. And now that we can see this handle is gigantic, or this guard, I'm gonna make it smaller. And I think that if I do this, if I do this and delete that pixel and do this, oops, how do I do this? Okay, if I delete this and I delete this, and then I delete that pixel and I delete that pixel and delete that pixel, delete that pixel, delete that pixel. How do I do that? There we go. I feel like that's kind of what it looks like, to the best I can tell. It's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. So now to spread the color out, you're going to do something like that. See, I'm grabbing the color from the border and I place it on approximately the same place it would be on a 16x sword. And I come down here, take these, in the same place, put them here. So it's really actually, if you see people like Forrest or Morgan who descaled the Warpack, it's a lot more difficult than it seems. It's not really using the filter over and over. So I'm going to go here, get this color, kind of put it towards the back down here, and it basically goes to this color all the way right there. So this color is like in the middle, but you have these colors on the edge. I'm going to use something a little more, not so harsh like that. And then we get right towards the middle of the sword, we have something like that. And then down here we have something like that. And down here we have something like this. If that makes sense, if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm just getting these textures like that. And as you can see, that kind of has the same sort of coloring. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on opacity for my pencil, and I'm going to kind of smooth some of this out like that, and like that. And obviously we're going to take that right there, and that like that, and then we're going to take that down there, and I'm going to do it a little bit like that, and we're going to use this a little more. Yeah. I'm going to I kind of changed the opacity so I can get this weird contrast, but let's see here. Alright, so it seems that it gets like light in that one part, so you get a little bit of dark right there, but it gets light right there, but then it kind of, it kind of gets dark, and it's like right here, it's all kind of that dark color. This is what I'm trying to do right there. that, I think. So if you see that there, that's sort of my interpretation of this particular sword. I might kind of take these colors here, make this a little bit brighter, and this a little bit brighter, and this a little bit brighter, and maybe these up here a little bit brighter, like that, if that makes sense. I'm making them all that color, and then oops, grab that. So then, I feel like this top part here needs to just get cleaned up like that. That's probably all I can do for now for this sword. It's not the greatest thing. And then for this right here, if you see that how there, it's like a lighter gray in the middle. Basically, you would be doing something like you'd put a light gray in the middle right here, like that. And I would do the same thing where I would blend it. So, and actually it looks like this has the handle a little bit up, so it's not touching the end. So I would do it like that. But then yeah, I would be blending kind of like that, and you know, things like that. So that I'm gonna just skip off from that because I don't want this video to be too long. The last thing I was gonna show you guys is sometimes you do have swords though that this one's a little bit bigger. Sometimes it does descale a little well. So as you can see, I went to scale image again, and I'm gonna go do 16 by 16. It's not gonna do it as great, but I feel like I can work with this a little bit better. And if I wanted to do like a thin shape, I'm basically pulling all these pixels out here by doing that thing I said where I click, control click, bring the color out, click like that. So we're gonna do that. I'm pulling all these colors out like that. And if you look at the, oh wait, I can't see the original sword. The original sword had like sort of a gradient going from dark to light this way, from this side to this side. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm kind of spreading these pixels like that. And we're actually going to put this opacity, actually I'm just going to do this real quick. So we're going to put this opacity on so I can fix this coloring here. Sorry, I have allergies. But this down here is sort of, it's sort of fixed, I guess. There we go. So I kind of fixed the handle. I mean, you really tailor it to how you think the best interpretation of a descale is. And the handle is kind of small, but whatever. And you know, I don't know, you could do something like that. But we'll leave it like that for now. So you got that. It does look a little bit fat in this picture, but whatever. So basically, I'm gonna go here and recreate that gradient. Take this dark color, and I'm gonna make the opacity less strong, like that. And there you go. It's kind of like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, sometimes it's easier to descale textures. I'll take this to 128, and sometimes if you're just descaling by a little bit, it doesn't affect them at all. As you can see, that to 128 didn't really change it too much. It's just a little more refined, I guess. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want the upscaling or rescaling video, let me know in the comment section below, and maybe if it hits 10 likes, I'll go ahead and post that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.